Hey everybody, Ingra Sparkman here from Southbridge Street Live, and I just wanted to let you guys know that we have banded together with CASA, Golden Crescent CASA of Victoria, for their annual backpack drive. Now I know it's summertime, so this is a crazy time to be thinking about school, but for organizations like CASA, they need to gather materials and supplies for children all year long. So this is it for the next couple of weeks. On Southbridge Live, you're going to see that some of my guests will be bringing in backpacks themselves. If you also would like to donate a backpack or school supplies, you can come by our studio at 1102 North William Street, or you can call me at 361-649-1825, and I'll be happy to come by, pick up backpacks and supplies to help support our local Golden Crescent CASA. Hey everybody, thank you guys so much for joining me this Thursday evening. I'm super excited to introduce my next guest. This is Stephanie Perry from Beehive Salon, and this is your salon. Yes. So I was just kind of mentioning that you're going to be talking tonight about just owning a business as a woman in the crossroads, but we just met the other day, reintroduced ourselves at a mob meeting, and that was super fun.
That was, yeah.
That is Mom-Owned Businesses.
Yes.
And that is an organization that's been in Victoria, I guess, for a year or two, but that was super fun, and you were hosting it at the salon.
Yeah, and that was actually my first meeting.
So I was hosting mine too.
during my first meeting. I was excited when I saw a familiar face. But I thought that was such a cool experience for those of you out there that are mothers and own businesses. You should definitely attend. It was amazing.
A mob meeting, yeah. Oh, it's been amazing. The trajectory that it sent me for the whole week has been phenomenal. So I kind of want to talk to you about that, about being a mother that owns a business in Victoria, especially since I have seen the inner workings of the salon and the movement and the energy, the vibe, and then just the customers in and out. So yeah, I'd like to know a little bit about that.
Well, I wasn't a mother when I opened it, but so the business kind of was my first baby, really. But we're almost 5 years old.
Wow.
So, but being a mom now, it, has definitely changed some of the dynamic of running a business. Of course, I feel like more than before my time is split, but it is also like one of those things where you realize how much you actually care about your business as though it's a part of you, and so I still have that nurturing, and it's we're at that 5-year mark where I feel that invigoration to get back in there and push for the what's for the next 5 years, you know. And your startup, you're worried about your startup and creating your brand and becoming Beehive, and now we're Beehive, and I know who we are, and now it's like, who else do we want to be? What else do we want to be? Where do we want to go? So
what are you tackling next?
And how can we help the community? How can we reach out? How can we draw people in to I love our guests in this town. We have loyal, wonderful, happy, bright people all the time that we meet every day. Almost 3,000 followers now, but we're such a small, big city. I know we could definitely reach more. It's exciting when I hear people say that they haven't been in or that it's their first time, and it reminds me that we are a lot bigger than I realized, to be there 5 years and still not have met,
everyone.
Yeah, our potential, Yeah.
So tell me, start from the very beginning.
Okay.
On the day you were born. No, okay, wait, maybe not that. Maybe not that perfect.
Yeah.
So you decided that you wanted to open a salon yourself?
Yes. I've been doing hair for about 17 years now. I got out of cosmetology in high school. And I think I knew about 2 to 3 years into the business that owning would be something I would want to do. I just couldn't help myself but add and be creative within the spaces I was working. And
I understand that.
I just felt that drive inside of me, and didn't quite know how it would manifest or where it would work. But it's like once I decided, it was so weird how things fell into place, and it felt like I got on a roller coaster ride and it just took off. And when things start to line up and fall into place to where you almost can't say no. I'd say there was, a little bit of a challenge as a single woman I do feel there's a small stipulation, like when you're trying to, go to talk to banks about business setup or startup plans. But then there's also Small Business Victoria was really helpful later when I reached out, and that was something I hadn't known about, and other women business owners had mentioned.
Now, where is this?
The Small Business Development Center.
Oh, okay, you said Small Business
I'm
Victoria.
sorry.
No,
Oh,
that's
no,
okay.
yeah.
The development center that's run through
That's the
the
mom
university.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know what you're talking about. So, and it was difficult, I think. So, to get a loan, or you were nervous, or the
It was difficult. I felt like they
judgment?
would not entrust, and I don't want to say that if I were a man it would be different, but I kind of felt like, so you don't have anyone else that wants to sign with you. And I'm someone who's had good credit my whole life, not to toot my own horn, but I've worked hard to, build myself and be established. And I was shocked.
As many women do.
Yeah, I was a little taken aback that I would have to take separate loans in different ways. They didn't have and afterwards, now I've been approached by multiple companies who are willing to loan me an extreme amount, which, is ridiculous. But I mean, it's exciting. I can understand, but that took me back a little bit. I thought waiting later in life I wouldn't have that struggle, but I mean, it happened. It worked, and Now
there are a couple of things that you've said right away that I kind of want to go back on. So manifesting, but I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Let's go to you were always the kind of person that knew this. Are you looking at my hair?
No, maybe. Well, they say you can look at eyebrows if you at the eyes. I know. Don't be judgy. Nervous.
Don't be judgy. No, it's cheesy. So, so you were back in the now you made me lose my train of thought, and I've never done that in all of the time that we've been doing this. Okay. Well, you said I was strong and determined. I found it. I figured it out. I was strong and determined. I had this creative energy. But for women, I think in particular, and it might be the same for men too, because I can't speak for them. Yeah. A certain amount of insecurity that goes, that sometimes takes hold of you when you are right at the point where you think this is something that I want, and
yeah, I would say the hardest part about being a business owner
for business is what I'm saying, to branch out.
Business?
Yeah. Did you have that? Or ever have any doubt or fears or insecurities? I'm not going to be able to manage this, and
yeah, of course, I think I did. I have to tell you, I couldn't eat, sleep, or go out. I was in a band for half of my life before that, in some band playing guitar or keyboard, and I loved it. I was out of town every weekend, and I found myself completely enamored in Beehive.
Yeah.
I mean, till 4 a.m. I was there hanging mirrors, and I didn't want to go home, and I had to, and and so
you would have slept there if you could.
I felt like it was like having a baby.
Yes.
I felt like I was with it mentally all the time, and physically whenever I could be, and it just but I do think that after you get in it for a little while, there are hardships. It's hard in a smaller town. Sometimes you feel like you're thrown amongst people that you are close with, and you're wanting to ride side by side with them. It is slightly competitive no matter what in any business, but I am lucky to have been surrounded by wonderful people with leadership skills, and it's been it's like a catch-22. The things that kind of will intimidate you also inspire you to push yourself harder. When you look at it, the things, I think opening such a large salon might not have happened for me had I been younger and opened it at an earlier stage in my life. And I actually thought that maybe I did want a smaller salon. I thought I was going to have a little tiny salon with a record player and just be me and maybe a couple other people, a long time ago when I had the vibe. I also thought about doing an Airstream salon and moving out of town. I had so many different ideas. So when it did manifest that Beehive was going to be so big, it was intimidating when I realized how big it was going to be. And when people started contacting me.
And the facility too itself.
Yes, it is. I think the largest booth rent salon.
I was going to say, let's go, and I want to hear that again. So the largest, in as you knew it was going to be large because you recognized that you were going to rent that space, and that was a large space, or people were coming to you and saying, hey, listen, I want to do this with you.
I was having to build stations like back to back because people were approaching me the minute that we opened. Yeah, it was, I didn't ask, I don't think I ever put out a hire. I've just this year put out a we are hiring.
Right.
You know,
thing.
Advertisement. Advertisement.
Yes.
That was wonderful, and that was a pretty neat thing, but it kept me on my toes. So I stayed very busy the first, and you get your trials with buildings. You know, we're renting a building that, you know, you have to maintenance and repair and fix up. And so there's little things behind the, y'all know, you know, behind the scenes things that you have to do on the fly, and that can be stressful. I did live in probably some high anxiety. That's, you know, I think normal for a new business owner, and being single, it is a little different to not have a built-in support system. I do have friends and family that are wonderful, and I love that. And my clients, my guests are wonderful. Some of them have been with me from the beginning of my career. So
really, since out of high school?
I mean, some of them have, and their children, and now their children, and that's kind of weird to say. But, you know, whatever.
But it is, I mean, time marches on,
Yeah.
you know? Okay, so tell me about this band. Tell me about being in a band.
Oh, man. Glory days. It was definitely fun. I can't say I wouldn't do it again. I will probably be in a band again eventionally.
I love that.
I have like 6 guitars. I had 7, I think. I have 6 now, and 2 keyboards. One's like a
now,
really
do you sing?
nice big one. Yeah, I have sang in a band.
Wow.
I've sang it and played guitar in a band.
Cool. All right, feet to the fire. Your favorite album, if they call it that still?
Album?
Well, you know, it's like favorite
I think
CD
anyone who knows
of all
me
time.
is going to know this answer.
Okay, well, what is it?
It's probably Lived Through This by Hole, but I also was kind of a big Nirvana fan. So,
yes.
But I mean, that would be one of them. That would probably be, in my day, has been like the most played. I have such a wide variety of taste in music now.
Right.
But
would you date David Grohl?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, maybe. So
If he was
he's
lucky.
So cute. Yeah. I mean, he's all right. He's all right.
But he'll do.
Yeah,
He'll do in a pinch.
Yeah, he'll do.
Oh, his drummer is really handsome too. The younger blonde kid.
Yeah, and I don't know his name.
Oh, my husband loves David Grohl and Foo Fighters. Like, that's his favorite band. I hear it at least, I mean, really, like almost every day.
They're very cool. They actually, I think was it their last album? One of their albums they recorded in Dave Grohl's like garage apartment, and they went back to recording, not digital. I just blanked on the word for it, but they went back to an old school way of recording their music, and I think it gave it a really good sound.
Wow.
I mean, I was watching a little interview on them doing that, and I was impressed with that.
What
That
about
took some
female
patience
bands?
and-
Are there any female bands that you love?
I mean, Hole, obviously, I said that. There's so many.
I had no idea that was even a female band.
Oh, well, it's Courtney Love. She's a singer.
Oh,
so
it is
she's,
Courtney Love. Okay,
who
there you
doesn't know
go.
her? Yeah, so, yeah, that might say something about me.
Forget
I don't know, but she was so rock and roll. Yeah. Well, she was like, when I was young, she was like the only mainstream rock and roll, like kind of punk rock girl. And I was so into music. I was so into all this music. There were male lead artists. And, you know, I like a lot of other female-driven bands, especially like 90s alt, like grunge girl, riot girl kind of stuff. But I also like, right now I like Billie Eilish, and she's young and
I love
you know,
Billie
I love
Eilish.
her voice is beautiful, and it
is
does not
phenomenal.
match her in an interview. I think that's kind of cool to be a little, I don't know, what is the word I'm searching for? Autonomous, maybe. Like she feels like she gets to be one person.
Sure.
You know, on an album, you hear her, and then you see her and talk to her, and it's surprising.
Right.
You're like, wow, you must have different faceted levels of who you are as a person and an artist. But I was surprised when I saw her in her interview. I thought that voice comes out of that little tiny
person
that's kind of lazy and doesn't really, you know, she has this like aloofness about her in interviews, but She's
very
talented.
strong vocally
Yeah.
and extremely talented.
So I'm excited to see where she goes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
Well,
so
I'm
young.
ready for you now. I'm like,
Yeah.
when we leave it here, I want to start talking about putting a band together.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm ready.
So going back to the business of
Yes.
Beehive. So where did Beehive come from? The word, the name?
I still have it. I had an index card where I started just writing names as I thought of them. Well, I kept telling someone, and I still haven't done this, and I really want to, about an idea I had to do all these different hairstyles, and I wanted to do a ton of different types of beehives. And
Really?
yeah, I wanted to do like all these different beehives, and I had all this like weird fake hair that I'd gotten from the store, and I get in these little spurts of like I just want to create things with hair,
Right.
and I wanted to do all these beehives with hair, and maybe even make like the outfit with hair and do all, and I would just talk about it and be like, man, we need to do the photo shoot with the whatever, and I was
Right.
practicing on a client one day, and and then later I was just kind of like, that's a good name for a salon, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. In fact, I ran into someone at a hair show after we opened, and she had a salon named Beehive. It might be Beehive something else, I forgot. But we had similar concept. I also really liked this bar called Beauty Bar downtown Austin that closed down, which sad. Why? I don't know why it closed down. It was always busy. Like I got to meet artists there. That was just so cool. But I liked their concept. They had a little lady head with like a little coif, little do.
Yeah.
And they had a light behind it. And I still sometimes think about getting something like that made with our logo. But so I knew immediately when I
Right.
thought of that name that would be the logo.
That
I
was
want
it,
something
yes.
similar.
Yeah.
I could just picture it immediately, and it triggered. So I kept coming up with different things. I thought of Vibe. I thought of all these other, cool little niche-y little names, and I kept going back to that one, and then I kind of picked some, gave a vote, and I felt like stylists and clients would always
Right.
lean towards it, and I
Yeah.
just felt like it was,
I think it's very, very cool. I think you created, like, even the logo itself is very hip looking.
Yeah, thank
But this
you.
kind of reminds me of one question that I wanted to ask you, like
Okay,
another
sure.
feet to the fire question.
Yes.
Worst hairstyle of all time?
Oh, worst. Okay. I'd say having the feathered bangs with like just the long flat hair that like is, just unkempt.
Not a mullet.
No. See, the mullet, I actually like the mullet. I love disconnected haircuts, but not quite.
It's disconnected, is that what you call it?
Disconnected cut.
It's
I would say a
disconnected cuts.
disconnected cut. Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's fashion mullet, like fashion, and I had a guy recently ask me he's like, let's keep some length in the back, like let's keep it fringy and. Yeah, I was like,
And you were
like
like,
a mullet.
it's a fashion mullet.
It's a mullet, but I love it, like where you're going with it, and I
Yes.
think it'll look really good on you. And I'm not saying everyone can pull it off.
Pull it off.
You're not everybody's Billy Ray, but I find myself attracted to that, and I think it started with hairstylists doing it to their hair,
Right.
like male hairstylists. I just think it's super. Right now, there's another disconnected cut for men, and it's almost like borderline bowl cut. Not saying that's cool, guys, but it's a little softer blend. But you can see like almost that weight line. But it also takes style. You got to have a little style
Right.
if you're gonna rock a cut like that. So,
Yes.
and ladies too, I like their disconnected like cuts. I like to see like fringe. I really love what women are doing with their edges, like having pretty little tapered edges with their updos and their hair back in the summer. Like I think that's really
Right.
sweet and pretty.
What
I'm
about
glad
perms?
that-
Because I do know that
perms are
back.
actually back, and I'm all for it, ladies. If you haven't overdone it with the color on the ends of your hair, you have to be honest
Oh
with
gosh,
yourself.
does it still smell the way it used to
does.
smell? Oh, it's still the same
It
chemicals?
smells like money. That's what that's what I was told when I complained in cosmetology. So it smells. That's a smell of money. So that's
That
what
is
we say in the salon. But
hilarious.
yeah, it smells a little like rotten
Okay,
eggs.
but
still.
is it so then it's still the same chemicals?
It is, it breaks basically a perm.
No,
a
it's
perm
still
is
the same
breaking
chemicals.
your cuticle, breaking the bond to your hair and forcing a C shape. And then the neutralizer is what seals that. There are different perms now that come out. Like I think Chi has one that you can use with their color the same day, and you can shampoo within 24 hours and you're fine. But most perms require a 48-hour process to wait. So I mean, they have upgraded some of them, and you can do things to help prep the hair, which a lot of stylists don't know. But you equalize the porosity in the hair so that the
I have no idea what that means, porosity, but I didn't know,
so, you know,
that whole was a girl band, so okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's a fine line. It's the most damaging thing you could do to your hair, but
Still.
curls are beautiful. It really still is. Now another popular thing is the Brazilian blowout. We still do those, and that will change your life, because I have to admit I'm addicted. Like you get one done and that's it.
Do you have naturally curly hair?
I have very curly hair, which people don't know because I Brazilian blowout, you know, which I don't use that exact brand, but a form of it. It's like that. It's a straightening process, and it helps seal. And it's almost like putting like that gel on your nails.
I've seen it,
you know?
change the way someone looks entirely.
It's wonderful.
You like
and
that?
then it's not permanent, so your curl can come back. I really would love it if they could do a perm that way that would last for a couple months and slowly, like 4-month to 6-month, fade off and be gone.
But how do you get rid of a perm? You have to grow it out?
You grow and cut. Or
Grow
you
and cut,
Brazilian keratin after.
So do you think if the perm is coming back, then the feathers will come back?
Like the feathers you put in the hair, or the feathering layers?
The feathering, like the...
Oh, yeah, maybe. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's to follow. You know what, really, actually, I have been seeing a lot of women with that natural texture, which is probably why the perm is coming into play, because the layers are back.
Right.
I feel like it almost went reverse. The layers are causing people to want the wave and curl. Wow. They want that, like, that like beachy little cute look.
Yes.
Almost like Joan Jettish, but tousled, you know.
I do know Joan Jett.
Yeah. She had the straight shag.
Everybody
right now they want that shag. Like just that long length with like the extra layers with all the wave and crazy. And that's cute too. And bangs, I've seen a lot of bangs and pictures.
You look beautiful in bangs, by the way.
Thank you.
We did bangs not too long ago with one of the girls who was dying for bangs, and she looked like Conan the Barbarian.
Oh,
exactly.
I've had
like
those.
completely straight. As people were calling her Conan, and I was like, "It's before your time. This was way before your time."
Oh no, Conan! That's the worst one. I've had. Well, I call them baby bangs. I've had bangs that people think maybe I messed up on, but I didn't. You know, I thought I was just edgy and cool and cute. And you know, sometimes as a hairstylist, you go through this stage where you just want something no one wants because you feel that need to push the ticket. You just want to push the limit a little bit. And it's been a while since I've done that. I used to. I changed it weekly. I was a different color all of the time, and I'm a natural blonde, which people don't know.
You're a natural blonde with super curly hair,
and I darken and straighten it. I know. I'm so you know. But yeah, and right now it's
You're so rock and roll. That's what it is.
It was. I do. The blonde was fun. The blonde was fun.
Do blondes have more fun?
Well, I probably had a lot more fun at the time in my life when I was blonde. I have fun now. I could probably have.
I'm just teasing. It's just I'll never know.
Yeah. No. Oh, you will.
You think so?
Blonde.
We'll get it.
You'll be blonde again. Yeah.
What is one thing that you said yesterday that I thought was really, really incredible? Which is, you said that if you're not getting compliments about your hair at least once a month.
Yeah, I'd say if you don't get a compliment and it's been 3 months and you can't think of the last compliment you've gotten, another thing that my wonderful teacher taught me in cosmetology, she's right. It's time to change something.
Right.
So if someone's not complimenting your color and you can't remember the last time someone said it, it's probably been more than 3 months. It's time to change it. Do something subtle.
Not a sales pitch, because that really makes a lot of sense if you think about it.
It's your accessory you wear every day, all day. People spend like money on their handbags and their shoes and they change those daily, and your hair is there every day, the same hair. It needs to be something you can move and change with too. And you want to, like, I love color, especially color with like pops where you can move it and shape it. And like for short hair, I love short haircuts that you can switch. you know, and have that color pop here and there, and have the idea of being able to look different without having to do something different every week is appealing.
Is it true that not everybody can do short hair? Because I've had women say, oh, I love your short hair, but I just could never do it.
You know, I think it's
And I'm
about
like,
confidence. You
can't ever do it?
You look beautiful with short
Oh,
hair.
thank you very much. You'll be a guest again soon. I can
And
what are you doing tomorrow at noon? No, I'm just teasing.
I'll be at the salon, 579-3049.
There you go. There you go. You go, girl.
But no,
I just wondered if that was something
I think that
they
a lot of
say.
people are afraid of things that they've never tried, or they've heard negative things about their appearance from other people, you know, and they're afraid that they won't like it and that it won't grow back fast or it won't whatever. But I think I've been short. I've had really short hair, probably close to your length actually. And I really enjoyed it. Sometimes I miss it. I do think that it is one of those things that people get comfortable with when they have long hair, and they're afraid that that's a part of their identity.
Well, I have the same problem though with short hair.
Yeah,
is that I tell
so-
myself I'm going to grow it out all the time because I had very, very long hair like 10 years ago, but I
Yeah.
still just seem to
It looks
continue
so
to keep it.
good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to a young woman, let's say a single woman who really is passionate about wanting to start their own business? What advice would you give them?
Okay. I would say to take advice, think about it, and go with what you stay true to the brand that you want, but take advice and criticism constructively. I think that that's important. And also to always remember that you don't have to answer anyone right away. You have the right to say, let me get back to you about that. Because I think there's a lot of peer pressure when you open a business, and it's a lot of pressure all around. And you have a million people saying a million things and wanting you to obligate your time or your, you know, and just to give your business that time it deserves, one-on-one with you to decide what you want to do, and not to rush your decisions. If you feel like you need time, take the time to think about how you really want things to be. And also to go to communication classes, communicating with your peers. You work with people older and younger than you, and I feel like I have learned the language of different souls several times now, and I think that's valuable for any leadership type position, that you learn how to get on someone's level and speak with them and interact in a way that, you know, and it's also good for guests. But I just think, so I guess I would say, like, staying true to your brand and taking the time you need to make the decisions that are important to grow your business, not feeling rushed, you know.
Right. Okay, so let's end it on something fun.
Okay.
Which is, what would be your summer go-to product?
Okay. Oh, you know, and I was going to bring it, but it's the Surf Blow Dry Spray. It's wonderful. If you've used the surf spray or any kind of sea salt spray, you can tell sometimes it's a little crunchy, it gets a little dry, it's not brushable. And, you know, even our sea salt spray, the original surf spray, can be a little heavy, a little salty. It's wonderful for certain textures, and other textures, you know, once you start it, that's it.
Why
that's
do you
how
want it
is.
for summer?
But the blow dry, you can put in wet or dry. You can blow it dry in and get some big volume and a little light texture, or you can put it in dry and do a dry scrunching with it, and it gives you that beautiful, soft, beachy, brushable texture. They also have a new cream too that's really great for like air drying, but I love that product. But yeah, I did see that you have something here that this is my other favorite. So this is the blondish
I
version
had
of
to
the
bring
hair
this
powder.
because I have
love
to
that.
say, like, this is the coolest thing that I have ever seen in my entire life. This is hair powder. And so this was something that you actually showed me that I think is phenomenal. Did I put it in my hair today? No. But I'm going to say this. It's a great way to, like, cover up gray.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I also, like, I think when I see it on air, like when I see it on camera, nobody else probably sees it. I do. That I have got, like, you know, my parts in one particular, and so my hair just naturally falls into that part. Well, I'm thick hair, I mean right here, but you can see, I feel like my scalp, and it almost looks like I have like a balding line right here.
Yeah, that camouflage.
And then you just go like spray it. I can't spray it because the producer will kill me, but you just go like this, and it's like, it matches the hair color, which I think is so cool.
It is, it's wonderful.
And it just kind of settles in. It's like spray paint.
It's like the pantyhose.
I feel like a street artist when I'm like
doing pantyhose for your hair.
It's pantyhose.
You know? I mean, nobody really calls them pantyhose anymore, tights, whatever. But it's a camouflage. It's it's wonderful. It's gotten through.
B&B hair powder.
And I'm blonde, like I said. So when I get new growth, it looks gray next to this dark. It looks like a big scalp.
So you use it too?
I use it all the time, and it works. It works just as good as at absorbing moisture as a dry shampoo.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's got that texture, that light, airy, soft texture.
It did. It really gave me a lot of
It gives
volume.
you volume.
Yes. Yep.
I love it. I love it. I feel like, okay, after having a baby, I lost hair, and I still struggle right now with my hair growing in places, and that's really helped. It looks so much fuller. It definitely helped me through that stage when it was falling out. It's growing back now, thank God. But you know, no one tells you the
joys of
those,
motherhood.
you know, like, yes. But
is the baby at the salon a lot?
You know, no, he's not. He just started attending Tiny Sprouts, so he's right behind us. But he likes to knock over all my Bumble product when he comes in. So he, you know, we limit his time there so far. But
But you really do have a family there. That's the other thing that I would comment on, is that you've got a great family.
We have a beautiful family at the salon. Thank you for noticing it that way.
Absolutely.
I really enjoy our space. I've enjoyed everyone who's come in and out. I've been lucky to work with such inspiring people. It really, I think that that's the best part of this industry, is that you get inspired by the people you're surrounded by, and vice versa, and you just all kind of like vibe on each other.
But you're a great leader too,
and
you have a lot of empathy, and I think you work really well with others. So
thank you so
you're the
much.
good mama.
Yeah, I try to be. I do have that. I guess I have a mother spirit. I must.
You have a great spirit.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. Okay, so what about if people want to get a hold of you? They want to make an appointment. They want to come be a part of this positive vibe at Beehive.
Yeah, come into Beehive. Say hi. Have a glass of wine and hang out.
Say, I need Ingress spray.
Yeah, and we'll, you know, that's another thing. If you ever want to come in and sample the Bumble product, you've never used it. It's a product company based out of New York City, made by hairdressers.
You let people sample.
I will happily show someone a product on their hair before they purchase it, especially if they're interested. Or just come in and you know, zhuzh it up for a Friday night and try the product and see how you like it before you buy it. But yeah, our number is 579-3049.
That's awesome.
We're located off of Laurent and Airline at 2904 North Laurent Street in the
It's
Town
a
and
big
Country
salon
Shopping
on the
Center.
side. You cannot miss it.
We're right next to Top Tattoo.
I love the guys from Top Tattoo.
Yeah, I do too.
They're awesome.
Great.
Well, thank you again so
you.
much for spending some of your evening with me. And congratulations on your 5th anniversary of Bumblebee.
Thank you.
Yes, and then of course for you baby.
Yeah, thank
For
you.
being a mama. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you guys so much for watching Southbridge Street Live.